Sure, that has been in my mind for a couple days. And actually, it was a phrase: don't go beyond what is written. And it just kept coming in my mind, and I'm sitting here thinking, as with anything in life, there's a lot of things written in the Bible, and I'll flip it around. Look right here. Therefore, judge nothing before the appointed time. Wait until the Lord comes, and he will bring to light what is hidden in darkness and will expose those motives of men's heart. At that time, each will receive his praise from God. Brothers, I have applied you. So there is a scripture for don't go beyond what is written. So I'm sitting there thinking, how we have a tendency as humans, we want to go beyond what is written, and we want to start searching. We want to start searching for clues. We want to start digging up the past. We want to start digging up the past, and not just biblical past and history related to that, archaeology and all that kind of stuff. We want to go digging up that too. And I was sitting there thinking, well, it is true. We want to know what is hidden, what is out there, because we feel that there is more going on than what meets the eye. So I'm sitting here thinking, but you know what? The more you look up, the more you look into something, the more you go down that rabbit hole, the more you're going to find out. And it will probably be very unsettling to your spirit. Now, the one thing that's unsettling to me a tad bit, it's a theory that this is a hologram. Our lives are holograms, and I cannot wrap my mind around that. I cannot let my heart go there. I can't. To think that I live in a hologram, because to me that means that I am nothing. That would mean that I truly am not anything except a virtual manifestation of something that you can see in a video game. I cannot bring myself, I cannot bring my heart, hello, to go there. Because to me, that is the void. That is the void. If you're to tell me that I am a hologram and I live in a holographic universe, I can't, I cannot wrap my spirit around it. Okay, I can't, because I think my spirit itself, the spirit in me itself, is more than a hologram. This spirit within me is real. Unlike a hologram, it's not real. And see, I think that's the problem I've got with that theory. And to think that we live in a hologram, a virtual world. Perhaps this title is not really good fit for this, you all, but I'm thinking about this. That's right. So that theory that we live in a hologram, that we live on a motherboard and we're the batteries on the motherboard, and it's like virtual reality, it weighs on me, and I think it doesn't feel right in my spirit. It doesn't, because it literally, then what's God for? What good does it do to do anything? That would mean that you can go and do whatever you want and there'll be no consequences whatsoever, because it's a virtual reality. It's a hologram, and that's all it is. Could you imagine that? To me, I would think that a hologram would be void of life itself, would be void of the existence, the essence within. It doesn't have a spirit. Okay, it doesn't have a spirit. A hologram cannot have a spirit. But yeah, so the thing, do not go beyond what is written. It is true, and it's in the Bible. If you like to read the Bible, it's in Corinthians. Let me show you where it's at. It's in Corinthians 4:6. Do not go beyond what is written. And why? Apollos. Who's Apollos? When I see the word Apollos in here, I think of Apollo. Look at this. Now, brothers and sisters, I have applied these things to myself and Apollos. Has that always been in there? Has it always been in there? But yeah, and it really, let me try to stick to my subject. Let me try to stick to my subject, you all. You know, there is someone on this YouTube that has a massive problem listening to me say you all. And I responded that if I was watching a video and someone used a phrase that just made me cringe over and over, I personally would not watch them whatsoever. So I don't know why a person would want to torture themselves listening to me say you all or y'all like I do. I don't know why you want to torture yourself like that. I'm not going to torture myself listening to somebody repeat a phrase over or a certain tone of a voice. No, I'm not even going to push myself there because that make me feel like a low vibration because I'd literally be inviting that energy. I mean, come on, you got to get over it. Just go watch another YouTube channel because if I keep seeing those comments, I'm not going to put up with them. Yes, hello, everyone. So, Apollos, did someone answer that question about Apollos? Is what I want to know. Did someone answer it? Hello. So, I didn't know it was in the Bible. I didn't. I know I'm getting myself sidetracked right now. Look at this. Apollos was an evangelist and apologist, church leader. Apollos. Okay, well, yes, good day. So don't go beyond what is written. Don't go digging back in history trying to find things out. Because when you find things out, it makes you mad on the inside. It's just like somebody who has a past, and they're trying their best to put that past behind them. And they're not happy about that past, but they want to move beyond it. They're not that person that they used to be. This is what I was thinking. This is what's been going through my mind. I'm getting to my main point, you all. So I want to thank you for being patient with me. So I'm getting to my main point. When we go around, I can look at this both ways, okay? Don't go beyond what is written. I can relate to that, and I can like think outside the box. Don't go beyond what is written. Don't go digging in the past. Don't be digging up graves and finding out things that are very unsettling for your spirit. And yeah, you wouldn't want to go dig up somebody's past who is trying to forget the past because they've been given a clean slate to start over in life. It really wouldn't be nice from a human's perspective to throw someone's past up in their face about what they did when they truly have changed for the better. If you were to look at it like that, because that, to me, I can relate, don't go beyond what is written, because we would be digging up things that aren't written, and or don't go beyond what you already know, like in an individual, in a person. Because we've all done mistakes. We've all had mistakes in our life. We've done things that we didn't like. And do you want the past thrown up in your face when you're trying to move beyond the past? Really, people do change. People do change. And some people make major mistakes in their lives. And they just want it to, they just want to try to get on and make the best of the remaining life. So don't go beyond what is written in the digging up of the past, digging up of the history of Earth, because there's so much history that is out there that is really things that are been done behind the scenes. Yet, yeah, it's like a warning. It really is. Don't go beyond what is written, is what it seems like. Apollos is that. Colin Byerly, yes. Hello. So this is, you have to ask yourself, why would they write that in the Bible? Don't go beyond what is written. Because when you go down those rabbit holes, you find things out, you do. And when you go digging in somebody's past, and you find things out about them that may not be, say that they had, I'll give a little example. Say that they had, when they were young, they shoplifted, like they stole like a piece of candy or something, and something very minor, or they had a speeding ticket, or they had a don't drive. They drove drunk and they had to serve time or something, and they felt really bad about it. Things like that. I'm trying to think of little minor things. You wouldn't want to go back and throw that in someone's face if truly they were no longer that person, that individual. Hello. I'm trying to see how I can get to that point. I've been trying to reason it in my mind. I really have. Don't go beyond what is written. Don't go digging up the past, because when you do, you're going to find out things that aren't too pleasant. Hello there, King Ahuka Mundo. Yeah, yeah. Paul, his friend in Corinth. Yeah, and then he was blinded by. Okay, now let's listen to this. As Paul was walking down the road, because he was a major persecutor of the Christians. He was a major persecutor. And as he was walking down the road, he was blinded by the light. Literally, could you imagine a bright, bright light standing in front of you, and like an angelic being? Its luminance is so bright. You literally are blinded by it. And he's sitting there, and he didn't know who it was. And he says, "Why do thou persecute me, Paul?" Or something like that. And he didn't know. But he was given instructions to go to a certain house, and they would take care of him. And then after a while, his vision came back, and he no longer was that person that he used to be, because he was a horrible person, he told you. Yeah, but then he was blinded by a light of a very high spiritual being, more or less. Yeah. Brr. That's right, you all. And he had something to boast about. He did. Let's see, you all. So Satan's throne is in you all. Yeah, because that especially when you go looking into the dark crevices of history, it literally, it's like opening up a Pandora's box. It's like a can of worms crawling out of the dirt into the light of day. You don't want to have. That's kind of gross, you all. It is. Um. Yeah, there's like some things are like left out, but really think about that. And he literally persecuted people. He persecuted the Christians. Why? Ask yourself, why did that happen? Why the need to go out and persecute a certain sect of society? Really? And then why, as with the Good Samaritan, why weren't they allowed to associate with that? Why weren't certain sects of society allowed to associate with certain other ones? See, there's the division right there. There's the division right there. They would not be the Good Samaritan. They just left that person laying there on the side of the road and walked by until the Good Samaritan came by, picked him up, put him on his horse, took him to the inn, cleaned up his wounds, and even paid the person to take care of this man laying on the side of the road. Because people were taught you don't associate with that. They're beneath you. See, that is wrong. That is so wrong to have that certain castes in society. It is. I would just like to live in a world where we're all loving and kind to one another, and it doesn't matter. I really would love to. One day I will, okay? One day I will is what will happen. Yeah. Well, we see a lot of instances within religion how there are I can be an open mind. There are rules and regulations put in place. If you don't do this and that, then there are consequences. But really, even in life, there's certain things that you cannot go out and do, whether you claim to be religious or not. You just don't do it. It's wrong. You can't cross those lines in life. That's even beyond religion. So there's even rules and regulations in this life that tell you that you cannot go out and do something horrific to another human being, or you're going to pay the price when you're caught. See, that's just, and I'm glad they got laws like that. I really am. So there's like guidelines. I like guidelines. I really do. I like boundaries. Um, I do. I don't want somebody to be free to do whatever they want and cause harm to other people. That's where I draw the line. No, don't you? No, you should not be allowed to do that. Inflict harm on other people, whether with your mouth, your words, which are really, you can literally kill somebody with the words of your mouth. You can literally kill that spirit within them. And to me, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible to do that to another human being. And then there are people who literally will go out and do something like that physically to other human beings, and that's wrong, you all. That is. So there's got to be a good, there's got to be a standard. There is, like, it's okay if you do this, but it's not okay if you do that. Yeah, that's right. So don't go beyond what is written, because you might find out things that you may not want to hear, and then it may be hard for you to digest, and it may literally shatter your reality if it came to be true. And you have to think about that. Do you want to? Is it worth it to shatter someone's reality? Really, if they're living their life, I'm thinking outside the box. I'm thinking, say I'm living my life, and I have children and they're living their life, and we we get old and all this and stuff, and it was a good life. But suppose somebody throws a wrench in there and they say something that is so horrific, so horrible, and then boom, that it's all brought tumbling down, something like that. I know I can see where there's instances where there is a need to know. I really can see that, because there are things that people will not say to others because they know if they do, it would literally tear them up to pieces. And really, would it be beneficial for the individual to know that very thing? Would it be beneficial for you to know something so horrible that it would literally destroy your life, even though it has nothing to do with your life right now? That's something like that too, you all. And you may not like what I have to say, but I can see in instances um, where something would not be told. Okay, just like they have on a need-to-know basis, if you're like in higher levels of like government and all of that kind of stuff, or in certain groups, somebody tells you something, they confide in you. They really can. This is perfect. This is perfect. You're talking to somebody because you know what, you have something that's bothering you, and you really need somebody to talk to, somebody that you can trust to share that with, because what you found out is just eating you to pieces. So you confide in somebody because you can't tell nobody else, but you feel like you got to tell somebody, because if it got out, it would destroy whatever it is that you heard. And what if that somebody you told it to, they had to open their mouth and they let out whatever it is, and boom, somebody's life got destroyed, even though it did not need to get destroyed. They felt, I've just got to go say it. I've got to go say it. And they destroy somebody's life like that. Even with whatever they heard, even though it may be true or not. Um, yeah. See, and that's a fine line right there too. You gotta weigh the cost. You really do. You gotta weigh the cost. Now, there's some people who will not even think twice. They'll just go out and say something and say, oh, yeah, it's going to wreck their life. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Oh, yeah, that's going to make them spiral down. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Because you know what? It gives them energy. They like to do things like that. So if you don't want to go beyond what is written, you don't go beyond what is written. Don't be digging up stuff. You could say that because what you dig up may be very painful for some to hear. Really, I'm serious. It may be hard for some to hear. And so what is the point of it? Digging up the past just to rub it in somebody's face. Okay, why you want to do that? Why do you want to dig up the past and rub it in somebody's face just to do it? Why would you want to do that to somebody? Yeah, I'm going all over the place in this video, and if you're watching this, you'll think, Gina, honey, you are jumping all over. And then some people don't like people to jump all over, but I'm just trying to feel where this is leading you all. It's all about going beyond what is written. It's all about digging up all of it. Yeah. Truth creates love, and lies create fear. Yes. But you know, at times, the truth is so, so, so hurtful to some, and they can't handle it. What do you do in instances like that? That if you tell somebody something, you know that it would literally shatter their world, and it would literally probably destroy them on the inside because they're not strong enough to hear it. What do you do in those cases when you know that this would have the effect and the individual is not strong enough to handle it? What do you do? Do you keep silent? Do you? And just be there for them? See, it's a fine line, you all, and we all, me included, we all respond to things that we hear differently. Some people can't handle the truth no matter what it is. They can't because they're so frail and fragile. They've lived a sheltered life. Now, I've lived a sheltered life. There's some things I do not want you telling me. I do not. Because for one thing, if it's super, 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 super negative, it literally, I can't handle it. I don't want it in my mind. If it's gory and all of that kind of stuff and full of evil, don't be telling me it. Don't. There's people who can handle the information you got a lot better than me. I can't handle that information. Okay, I'm not that strong. I was not. This Gina was not built for that. This Gina was not built for you to talk to me about all the atrocities, horrific things, and get into deep detail about what's happening. That's not me. That's not my mission here. Do I feel that things like that have happened? Yep. Do I want to dwell on it and look into it? Nope. That's not me. I do not. There's other people who are strong enough to do that. It's just like we all have different skill sets on this earth. I have a different skill set than the person who would be able to hear something like that. I'm a more calm person, okay? I am a more calm person, and I have got to keep that balance. I've got to keep the harmony. I got to keep the peace. If I can heal, I'm going to heal. I really will. If I can heal somebody with what I say, if I can make a difference in my life with what I say, and it's going to make them feel better, that's me. That's me right there. I'm not that other person. I'm not. I'm going to leave that other stuff to those other people because that's what they like to do. That's their calling. That's not my calling, you all. It's not. It's not, and I won't do it. Unless I change on the inside, you're not going to hear me getting into all this other sadistic and all this other stuff. No, you will not. No. Nope. Not me. Not on this channel. I'm not going there. That's not my mission. My mission in my spirit is to peace, harmony, love. That's really what it is. That's me. It's always been me. Love at the center of my being. Okay. Does that mean I'm a weak person? No, I'm not weak. I'm not weak at all. I am not. I am spiritually strong. I'm spiritually strong. Okay, and I choose my battles very wisely. I do. I choose my battles wisely. I ask myself, is that worth it? No. Is this worth it? Oh, yeah, it's worth it. See, I know. I know within here what I should do and what I shouldn't do, and what I should dig up and what I shouldn't dig up, because I can literally, let me tell you something. When I get a little close to something and I start looking into something, and it just, I literally can feel that energy coming from the what I'm looking at, and it's a negative energy. And the more I press into it, and the more I can feel that heaviness trying to get at me. And I just like had to step back, take a step back, and refocus, and thinking, okay, yeah, um, yeah, love and light. It really is. It's all about love. It is. And you have, yeah. I would just encourage you all to choose your battles wisely, and choose what you want to share wisely, and who you're sharing it with. Can they handle it? If not, why do you want to keep throwing it and throwing it and shoving it down their throat, thinking, oh, you're going to handle it now because I'm going to keep opening my mouth and I'm going to keep telling you over and over if I have to shove it down your throat. No, that ain't a way to get your message out. It isn't. You can't get the message out like that, you all. You can't. Um, yes. So I think that's about it. I think I've talked a little bit longer. I didn't even want to get on here. And then that phrase, don't go beyond what is written. If I look at it from a relationship point of view, don't go digging into things in the past, digging up the past, because you're going to find something you may not want to know. But then in some instances, you're strong enough and you're saying, yes, I'm glad I knew. I'm glad I found out about this. Okay. There are some things you can start digging and find out about, and it's okay because you can handle it. Okay, that's what it is. It's okay because you can handle it. King of Ahukamendo, love you too. Yes, greetings everyone. Oh, I can't go yet. My lips feel a little chapped because I didn't put nothing on them. Yeah. And you know, when we do that, when we do go start digging, we got to be very careful, because we tend to perceive things a certain way when we see things. I do it, you do it, other people do it. And then we think, well, our way's the only right way. Everyone else is perceiving it wrong. But no, I know there's many perceptions in reality. I really do. People have many perceptions on life. People have many perceptions of me. They do. They get me all wrong. They get me all wrong at times. Because they don't know who I am right here. They didn't take the time to know the spirit within me is what it was. Did not take the time to know within here. And you've met people like that too. They form their own perceptions of you, even though they did not take time to know you, who you are on the inside, like that. They just automatically want to, boom, label you and tell you all the things they think that they perceive you are, and they try to make it out to be the truth, but it's not. Okay, it's not. Hello, King. That's so nice. Mm. Oh, I like that. I like that, what you said, red herring media. It's amazing how many perceptual lenses there are. I really do like that. Yeah. Yeah, I've got on here, you all. So yeah, we all have perceptions. And you know, we're all not going to resonate with, everybody's not going to resonate with everybody, and it's all going to be one happy place unless something happens, and then we all have to do that, you know. But yeah. So, I think that's about it. You're in Spain, France. It's a little chilly up here. Yeah, prayer is important, and thinking positive is important. It really is. What you think up here is very important. It's super, super important, and it does affect you on a daily basis. Yeah, insults lead to self-harm. It does. Yeah. Tea Pristine Miracles. Ah, that's so wonderful. Yeah, I want to stay strong, and I need to be reminded, Gina, honey, at times there's only so far I can dig. So far I can go, and I know it in my spirit. Okay, even with don't go beyond what is written, because I won't have no balance within me. I won't. So I have boundaries too in this life, in everything. I really do. And my spirit has boundaries. The spirit within me has boundaries. And I've got to be alert, and I've got to pay attention to those boundaries in order to keep Gina being Gina on the inside and not get sidetracked. Yes, we got to be careful with our thoughts, what we think and we manifest. There is something to it. There really is. But the one thing that I did not like is the theory of a holographic universe and being a hologram, because that would mean that I am nothing. That would mean anything in existence is nothing. It's all fake. I'm sorry, the spirit in me cannot resonate with that theory. It can't. Even though it's a theory, and I've listened to what people have to say, I'll still hear whatever they have to say, but I cannot dwell on it. I cannot even entertain it to the point that it's literally going to start affecting me. I can't. I won't. How about I won't do it, because it's not one that resonates with my spirit. I can resonate with parallel worlds. I can resonate with a portal. They're physical things, and they are spiritual in nature. Spiritual beings come through those portals, you all. And as for the other worlds, and as for the reincarnation, I think there is something to it. And as like when this spirit leaves this body, I am an old soul. I'm a very old soul in my body. And there's a lot of people who feel that they are an old soul also. And you have to ask yourself, how come you feel that way? How come you feel that you are much older in your spirit than you are in your physical body? How can that be? And like children, when they're small, a very small age, when they come into this world and they start talking, there's been plenty of references to being someone else before they were who they are right now. They recall living another life and having a totally different situation. They do, and they've researched that, because there's something to that. There really is. So that's physical. Yeah. John Paul, I'm glad I do. Yeah, I'm glad I do. I don't want to go beyond, really, in a sense, I don't want to go beyond what is written. I know I do not want to dig into things the way that some people are, because here's what happens. This is really what I've noticed. When a person say that you're a very peaceful person, life is fine, and you start digging and you start finding things out and say, oh, that's really interesting. And then you dig and you find something out, and that's interesting too. And then you dig a little deeper and thinking, oh, that's not right. You keep digging, and then you realize that's really wrong. And then before you know it, after all your digging, you're down there in that deep hole, and you are very upset about what you've uncovered. And then that peace within you is totally gone, and you're never again the same person that you used to be. You become, I've seen it, people become very miserable in their spirit. very miserable in their spirit. And that's not good for your spirit either. It's not good for your body, any of it. There's got to be a balance, you all. There is. There's got to be a balance there. We've got to come to the point when we say, okay, that's enough. That's enough. I don't need to know all the answers. I don't need to know all the details involved. Okay? There's some people who want to have every single bit of the details. They want to know as much as they can. But it's like this. There's a scripture. The more the knowledge, the more the grief. And much study wearies the body. And it does. It wearies your body. The more you go digging and the more knowledge you get, it brings you a lot of, it's a heavy burden. It really is. I'm going to show you the scripture. The more the knowledge, let me flip it. The more the words, well, that's the more the words. The more the words, the less the meaning. And how does that profit anyone? And whatever exists was named long ago, and what happens to a man is foreknown. He cannot contend with somebody who is stronger. So this is what we should do. For who knows what is good for a man during the few days in which he passes through his fleeting life like a shadow, and who can tell him what will come after him? Yeah, so the fate of the fool will befall me also. And then you have to ask yourself, what then have I gained from being wise? That's what it says in Ecclesiastes. The fate of the fool. If a fool dies, well, look at that. The fate of the fool will also befall me. And what then have I gained by being wise? And I said to myself, this is too futile. You know, that's the first time I've seen the word futile, because it said, it's in the thing where it says vanity, vanity, all is vanity, and then or meaningless, meaningless, all is meaningless. It's just meaningless. Whatever exists has already existed. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. To what end? There's no end to it. There's no end to the digging. There isn't really. No end to it, you all. None. There we go. It's all vanity and meaningless. Utterly meaningless. Yeah. I've seen lots of comments that have an angry tone in them when people are explaining what they found out in the past. There literally is an angriness and upsettedness, a negative energy that has attached itself to them, and it's made them feel very upset on the inside. And it's like it becomes a part of them. I'm sure it doesn't make you to know. I'm sure it doesn't make anybody keep the peace within and the happiness within when you focus on something that's so absolutely terrible that's being done. How can you even have a shred of peace when that's all that you're consuming is negative, negative, negative? How can you have any peace within your spirit? Doesn't your spirit mean more to you than all that negativeness at times? You've got to take time out for yourself. You do, and it's okay. It's okay to take time out for yourself. It's okay not to focus on all the negative that's going on. It's good to be aware of it. It really is. But to focus on it day in, day out, you all, that's going to kill your spirit. Especially if every time you read it, it's just like another nail being hammered in your coffin, more or less. Yeah. But that's, some people like that. And that's fine if that's for you. It really is. Yeah, you can't go back and unlearn or unsee. That's right. The more you see, the more it's going to be embedded within you. It really is. The more it's going to be embedded within you. Yeah. Yes, the loss of children is it's very heartbreaking and shattering. It's hard to move beyond pain. It really is. It's not as easy as they say. It's not. It's a daily struggle uh, for some just to make it through the hours of the day, and even make it through the day. It's an enormous struggle for people, and it's understandable. You know, we're not superhuman. We're not numb to reality or nothing like that. It is hard. It is a struggle. And it's not easy. It's not easy to walk down this road called life. It's not. Some people may think, oh, well, somebody's got it made. Look at them. How do you know they got it made? You don't know what's going on in their life or what's going on the inside of them. They may look like they have it all together, but then on the inside, they're literally falling apart. See, they're just playing a part. They're playing like it's all okay, everything's fine. And on the inside, they're literally falling apart. And their world is falling apart on the inside. So it's, you never know. You never know what's going on in someone's life at all. Yeah, it is hard to live by love. It is because some people don't want that love, and then you want to see it, and you look around and you're not seeing it, and it's kind of disappointing. What bothers you, Irma, is when someone demands your time. Yeah, yeah. Your time is very valuable at this point. It's one of the most valuable things you have. As you get older, you realize your time is extremely valuable. Yeah. Live each day as if it's your last. That's right. You don't want to go around creating trouble either. You don't want to go around creating dissension. You don't want to go around slandering people, talking behind their back. For what? For what? Why do you want to do a life like that? Why do you want to go around talking about people, stabbing people in the back? What, to me, that's just, it's stupidity because ignorance it's ignorance because stupidity knows better. Okay, somebody willingly does that, goes around talking about people behind their back, stabbing them in the back, spreading lies and stuff and slandering them. They are deliberately, knowingly doing something like that to another person. You can't claim ignorance. You cannot. Unless your spirit has been seared with a hot iron and that consciousness is gone, you might as well, at that point, have one of the things embedded in your head and be controlled like that, because literally you are being controlled by something when you go around doing stuff like that, because it ain't your conscience, because you don't got none. Yeah, that's right. Don't ask me why I said that. Yeah. Yeah, it's wrong. It's wrong. It is wrong. It's not love. It's not a byproduct of love whatsoever, no matter how you twist it. Now, it's not to say that we haven't done it. Oh, we've done it in our lifetime. But you know, if you're the type of person who have said something about somebody and it sounded kind of bad that you said it and you felt bad that you said it, even though it's the truth, you know, your spirit tells you, you know, it's really not nice to say, even though it's the truth, and you don't want to think about it. You don't want to think about it. You don't. You don't want to talk about it because that's not who you are on the inside. Yeah. Miss Honeybee, yes, you got to meet it with the positive energy on the inside. That's exactly right because, you know, some people can't stand it. The energy, if you're happy and you're peaceful, you literally, it's just picture your aura like a big old force field all around, and somebody with a very negative energy on the inside of them, they got this other force field and they can't stand your force field that you are emitted, your energy field. It's a boom, it just literally deflects them just like that. That's right. Someone is Burnaby. Yes, there's so much to worry about. There is no time for holding grudges. No, you gotta move beyond that. You gotta move beyond that, you all. Some people are just trying to survive at this point. Everybody's talking about a video that I got taken down. I don't even know what that video would even be that got taken down. It's news to me because guess what? I haven't got any notifications in my email from YouTube about taking down a video of mine. So that's a rumor, okay? Because if YouTube literally takes down my video, I'm going to get a video. I'm going to get a notification. And if they took it down, you wouldn't see me on here live because I'd probably get myself in trouble for breaking community guidelines. So you wouldn't even see me on here. Oh, so I think that whatever that is, I think it's somebody's telling you a fib. Okay, they are. And maybe spreading that fib, maybe telling a little white lie is what I think. So, who said that? I don't even know who said that, is what I heard. Yeah, Lynn Ballard. Yeah. If I had something like that, if it was by YouTube, you wouldn't see me on here. And I would get an email telling me what happened. Okay, I would. So it's all right, you all. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, you're welcome. There's some things that you can't listen to unless you want to listen to things like that. There are people who do like to hear rumors. They do. They like the rumor mill. And it's like a song. If it can get twisted, you can be sure that it will, because there's not anything sacred at the rumor mill. Because one person tells it, and by the time the next person tells it, it gets twisted. By the time they tell it, it gets twisted again. And then some people just like to tell things just to make them up, just to get attention. They like to make attention, get the attention and stuff like that. Yeah, gossip addicts. I've never heard a phrase like that before, but that's an addiction. That is absolutely an addiction. I love it, John Paul. That is an addiction to gossiping. That's right. We need to add that in there, you all. So they got an addiction to gossiping. Yeah, it's King Ahukamundo. You're so sweet. You really are. I really appreciate you. Yeah. Jenny, that's wonderful. It is. It's wonderful. The more I sit here, the more my lips get dry, and I'm not gonna lick them. I'm not gonna lick my lips. They do feel a little bit dry right now. Probably because I've been walking around the yard. My greenhouse, the weather is cold here. And the plants that we have in there are cool weather plants, and they're probably around, some of them are around a foot tall in their containers, but we've had a lot of cold, freezing weather here inside there, so they look, I can't tell if they look a little wilty because of the cold temperatures, even though we got one of those covers over them, plant covers, or if they need water. And I'm trying not to, I think my daughter is trying not to water them because she doesn't want the soil to freeze their roots. Something like that. But it's doing great. Andy Garcia, hello. Yeah. Yeah, oh, and they do dry out in the cold. Lula Bear, I want to tell the truth. If I'm doing something that is deceitful, and I claim to have this spirit within me, that spirit within me is going to be attached to my conscience, and my conscience will certainly convict me of it. If it doesn't, and I continue to do things that are against my nature, my spiritual nature, I'm going to severely pay for it. I'm going to pay the price, just like other people. When you do something that is against your spirit within you, your consciousness, you willingly do it and you continue to do it, it's going to bite you. You're going to cause karma to come on yourself, okay? Because you reap what you sow. You really do. Yeah, it's hard to find like-minded people. It really is in this world. It's like a very rare. We are a rare breed of spirits, is what we are. Crystal, honey, you are so welcome. You really are. That's right. This spirit is going to go back where it came from. Sensationalize things. People do that. Yeah, they do. Absolutely, they do. These glasses, it makes my eyes hurt. I am going to be hopping off here, you all. It's 3:31, but I wanted to hop on here and talk. I wasn't even going to get on here and say this. I was actually working on a star video that I was going to upload, a little bitty star video with some music. And I got myself sidetracked is what happened. I got sidetracked, you all. I was going to I am going to upload it. You can't really see it like this, but I had this video that I was like working on with some music. And I'm going to upload it. I will. It's just a short video. Well, I'm going to go. I want to thank you all once again for coming on here. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And thank you, King of Hucamundo, for coming on here. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you later. I will see you later, you all. If nothing comes up, that's right. Oh, that's so wonderful. Yes, from my heart to your all's. Love you.